Fox 44 News is proud to present Veterans Voices. D&T Body Shop and Rocket Federal Credit Union proudly support Veterans Voices.
Veterans Day is a day to give thanks to the brave men and women who selflessly put their lives on the line so the rest of us can enjoy the freedoms we have.
That's right. In 1918, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, an armistice was declared to bring an official end to World War I. Up until the Second World War, the day was known as Armistice Day. But following World War II and the Korean War, the name was changed to Veterans Day. And Veterans is what makes a spot on Highway 77 special. It's where the saying, "A picture is worth 1,000 words," is on display.
Yeah, and they're all in one unique place right here in Central Texas.
Here's the place, the Highway 77 Cafe, nestled on Old 77 on the north side of Rosebud. On the outside, welcoming, with a hint of what you'll see on the inside. It hits you right away. Wall after wall after wall, picture after picture after picture. All of them veterans. From the first one ever placed on these walls to the ones that now have a much larger number as part of the collection.
631 as of right now.
Of all different varieties, most of them with a single veteran. Some of the pictures in black and white, others with more than one veteran, even a few with large groups. All of them part of a legacy of a labor of veteran love for the cafe's owners. Monica Castellanos and her husband David Diaz bought the cafe about 2.5 years ago. Love at first sight.
We came and opened that door. Look all this right here, pictures and all that. I said, whoa. What are we getting into? First, this is awesome.
My first impression when I saw the pictures, say, wow, this is amazing. Has to stay like it is. We have to make it better.
I think I want my mushroom.
Mushroom Swiss burger?
Making it better as a family affair.
Okay.
Their 3 daughters all involved in the day-to-day operations, helping serve up a menu of home-style food. Food the focus at the table with the patrons, with the over 600 pictures of veterans as an inspiring backdrop.
Sometimes it made me cry. I'm not going to lie. When I saw all the faces in the walls and people came say, that one is my husband, that one is my son. He went to Iraq and passed away. It made me feel sad too. And I know this place is full of love. It's sad, it's happy, it's proud, it's honored, it's a lot of emotions.
Emotions echoed by cafe patron Barbara Borden, whose husband and father-in-law both have photos on these walls.
I can't explain. It's just a real neat feeling knowing that I have someone up there and that all of these people have served for our country, and we just appreciate them all.
A deep appreciation the owners share.
This is a treasure for Rosebud. These walls is a lot for all people around. Is what I feel that.
Yes, over 600 pictures and counting, with room for more.
Whoever was in the military or serving, in the army or whatever, they can bring their own picture, and I'll hang it out there for them.
It's the second picture up there by the TV on the bottom row.
What happens when they run out of space on these walls?
Of course we can spend. People respond to us. We would like to keep doing what they doing for us too. I'll make some room to put some more in here. I'll be happy to do that.
Happy to carry on the entire experience for years to come.
You can feel it. You can see the faces of people when they're looking all around. And it's when we say, we're doing the right thing right here. We're doing good, and we got to keep doing good.
The owners of Highway 77 Cafe say a picture of any veteran has a place on their wall of honor.
Off Highway 6 in Brazos County, there are tanks and helicopters outside of a museum.
That's right. And inside, centuries of history honoring veterans while providing a service that no one else supplies.
Every patch, every uniform, every veteran carries a story.
And the military helps you make that future of someplace you never thought that you could go in life or be something you never thought that you could be.
But those stories of service are seldom told by the veterans themselves.
From a veteran to a veteran, you can always tell when you know they need to stop, and when you know they can't say anymore. But you also know that it does something for them to be able to share those stories with you, and maybe it's something that they've been wanting to talk about for a long time.
At the Museum of the American GI in College Station, those stories come to life, both through preservation and demonstration.
When they're either riding in a vehicle or helping us restore a vehicle or showing off an artillery piece, it puts them in a different situation. They can forget when they might have been using it in action, and now it becomes something they can show off and have fun with.
Founded in 2001, the Museum of the American GI sought to provide a space to preserve veterans' history, primarily centered on the Brazos Valley, but receiving donations from all across the country.
My favorite thing is when I'm at the front desk and people come in and they have kids. To see a little girl's face when she sees me say that I'm a veteran, it just does something for me. That it's just a feeling that you don't get from anywhere else. And you know, that to me, that's like the best part of telling my story, is because it not only lets the people that come in know that, you know, we are a museum and we do provide the history, but we also have veterans that work here that can talk about it.
But while the museum seeks to educate and inspire the next generation of our military, it continues to provide a special service for those that have already served.
That's one of the things that we can do here is provide a venue for the veterans to share their story with their families.
You also know that it does something for them to be able to share those stories with you, and maybe it's something that they've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Doesn't matter if it's the older veterans or the younger veterans or, you know, the ones that we just got out. So it is therapy.
Allowing veterans to share their hardships for the first time and free their minds from behind the bars of a burdensome past.
You miss it, and you miss certain things, and it's a feeling in this place, in this museum, that she provides for us veterans that you can't get anywhere else.
Giving veterans an avenue to live freely, the same freedom for those that they fought to protect.
To most people when they come in, it's just, oh, I'm going to walk around and look at the tanks, I'm going to look at the uniforms, these things are really cool. But to veterans, when we walk in the door, the smell and the environment and the colors and just everything about it, it just makes us be able to breathe. It makes it a lot easier.
The museum is always accepting donations.
But if you can't make a monetary donation, you can always donate your time as a volunteer. As we continue to see and hear veterans' voices from all around Central Texas, we recognize those who served in more than one war.
Yeah, one of those, a Waco area veteran who served in Vietnam and Desert Storm.
Meet attorney John Carr, who walks with purpose on this day into his office to take us on a stroll down memory lane, not as an attorney, rather Lieutenant Colonel John Carr, plus Army Special Forces Green Beret John Carr. He served as a Green Beret in Vietnam as a first lieutenant, and in Iraq 2 decades later as a lieutenant colonel. Carr says there may be misconception on what it takes to be a Green Beret.
That is an excellent question, because a lot of people might think, well, you just have to be a guerrilla to be in Green Berets. No, your most important weapon system is your mind. If you can use your mind to solve problems and engage the enemy when necessary, your mind will see you through.
Which came in handy during some horrific battles during his 1969 and 1970 Vietnam tour.
As we were looking across the upper Idrang Valley, one night, everything just exploded, and there was a lot of activity, a lot of people getting killed, and the South Vietnamese were getting basically overrun. And I watched a C-130 drop a 10,000-pound bomb to clear a landing zone so that we could get some of those people out of there. And I thought that was pretty horrific, you know, so it was not very nice. As an officer, then I'm supposed to be a leader of those men. Tell you the truth, they were so good, they were going to do their right thing, and that was the best part about Special Forces. I never worried about one of my team members not doing his job or failing to come to the aid of anyone who needed it. So the team itself was very protective of the team And that is one of the best things about Special Forces.
Carr knows exactly how long he served.
From the time I joined the Army as a buck private until I was fully retired, 38 years and 7 months to the day.
Today, he is fully retired and filled with honor to add his veteran voice to encourage all of us to express gratitude to those who have served.
When we line the streets for Veterans Day parades, or you go up to a veteran and just said, thank you for your service, you're giving that man or woman recognition for the fact that he stood on the wall and protected our rights. And that's very important, very beneficial to us.
John Carr earned several military awards during his almost 4 decades of service.
Yeah, those awards include 2 Bronze Star medals, 3 Army Commendation medals, and 5 Army Achievement medals.
You're watching Veterans Voices, proudly sponsored by D&D Body Shop and Rocket Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back. Well, it's estimated that there are less than 200,000 living World War II veterans among us.
Yeah, one of them calls Central Texas home, and at almost 100 years old, he has vivid memories of his service, which nearly cost him his life.
A look at Morris Barker in 1943 when he was inducted into military service, joining the Army and later transferring to the Army Air Corps. Morris Barker today, holding a model of a B-24 Liberator, where he served as a tail gunner.
I was trained down in South Texas, and then I was stationed in Italy, flew with the 15th Air Force, and bombing various targets throughout Europe, the German targets throughout Europe.
He vividly recalls a day at his tail gunner post on his B-24 Liberator at 25,000 feet that changed his life forever.
22nd, 1944, I was flying a mission from Italy to Vienna, Austria, and we were shot down by 3 German Mi-109s. They hit our number 2 engine. The pilot and the engineer were both killed by this. The plane was on fire, and we were able to, those who were living were able to bail out. We bailed out from about 30,000 feet. And we were, of course, taken prisoner of war at that time by the Germans.
He clearly remembers his time as a prisoner of war.
Our prison camp was Stalag Luft 4, and up on the Baltic, and we were. The prison camp was divided in 4 different sections, and I was in section 3, and was a prisoner there until the British started moving in, and the Germans didn't want us liberated, so they moved us. The Germans started marching us. We marched for 3 months. Sleeping in barns and outside, and then was liberated then by the British.
Barker recalls also being liberated by American troops and the trip home to the United States.
I was liberated, and they took us into France and put us on a ship, and took us into New York. And then they took us on down to San Antonio on a freight train, and then when they gave us a furlough, and I had to report back, and I was stationed in Fort Worth Army Air Base, in headquarters there, until I had enough points to be able to be relieved.
As much as Morris Barker remembers his World War II service, he's also grateful for celebrating Veterans Day in 2024.
I do want to thank all of them for protecting our country for sure, as we had to do during World War II.
Mr. Barker's story is truly amazing.
And that's not the only amazing thing about him. On January 6th, Mr. Barker will turn 100. In the Brazos Valley, there are volunteers who come together to create gifts for veterans.
And these gifts are called Quilts of Valor. They are handmade to offer warmth and comfort.
As a way to honor those who've served, residents of College Station have come together to create quilts for veterans.
This year, we actually presented 34 quilts to veterans, male and female, and military personnel. So it's been a big year for us, so we're excited about it.
These quilts can be seen as blankets with a story, each patch and stitch having significant meaning, and these projects can take 6 months to a year to finish. Leisha Kim became a volunteer for Quilts of Valor almost 4 years ago to not only honor the veterans in her community, but her husband as well.
As I'm sewing, I'm thinking about that person constantly, and it just brings a smile to my face because I know they will enjoy it that much more.
The fact that the volunteer hours out of their own precious life, and they're willing to do that for us veterans, especially my wife doing what she did for me, is just a huge blessing, and I certainly appreciate what they did.
Charles Gilreath has also been a quilt recipient, and his appreciation motivated him to become a volunteer.
We want them to know that they haven't been forgotten, that their service is valuable, and that even though we may not be pinning medals on anybody, that the country still believes in the service they did, and that it's honorable work, and that we appreciate it.
The group also creates what are called soldier squares dedicated for active duty service members.
Yeah, those squares are shipped overseas with prayers stitched on the back.
You're watching Veterans Voices, proudly sponsored by D&D Body Shop and Rocket Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back. Well, sometimes life after service can be tough for a veteran, whether it's making sense of health benefits, getting counseling, or even fighting to avoid homelessness. It seems like so much can often be stacked against them.
Today we look at a program that helps take much of that burden off the shoulders of the men and women who have sacrificed so much.
One of the things that I really do value here is you get a lot of the camaraderie.
The Veterans One Stop in Waco. It's more than just a place for veterans and their families to file claims for medical benefits or to get help putting together a resume with the hope of landing a job. It's not just a place to get counseling and mental health support, but it's also a place to hang out with buddies, watch a game, wash clothes, work out, take a shower, and even pick up your mail if you don't have a home of your own. It really is one stop. Today, it's a place for a news guy and a veteran to shoot some pool and talk about his service and the services offered here.
You know, just right over here, you got a media room so veterans can go and just hang out and maybe play some games, watch little TV, movies.
Brian Williams served in the Army from 1998 to 2006 and was stationed at then Fort Hood before deploying to Iraq for 14 months. Brian doesn't like to talk much about his time there. It's hard to think back, but he's glad to now have a place where he can go and be surrounded by others who understand.
And just knowing that all these vets come in, just get some good food and great fellowship, It's very welcoming.
They come, they play dominoes, they play pool.
Melinda Bonds, director of the Veterans One Stop, says they're always prepared to carry out their mission of serving the men and women who served us first.
Most of the time when somebody walks in the door, we're able to help them the day of. If they're needing claims or they're needing some case management or clinical services, usually we can get them an appointment within a week.
In 2012, all of this was just an idea. Heart of Texas Behavioral Health Network pulled together community stakeholders to try and find out what the veterans in Central Texas needed most. Turns out they needed each other and a place where they could go to bond while confronting parts of life only a vet could understand. The Veterans One Stop was born, making it the first comprehensive veteran service organization of its kind in the nation.
Sometimes they don't even realize that they could benefit from something that we have. They come in for one thing and then they get 4 other things on top of that.
Volunteers make the Veterans One Stop possible. From cleaning the weight room or answering phones or cooking one of the meals offered every Thursday, there's a lot to do.
Our volunteers, this place would not be able to run without our volunteers.
Well, everyone I spoke with described the Veterans One Stop as a laid-back, relaxed environment. There is so much going on. Each month, they offer between 2,000 to 3,000 services.
Amazing. Veterans One Stop is free to any former service members. And to all our veterans, thank you for all your sacrifices, and we salute your service.
We're proud to have heard from the voices of veterans who proudly served our country.